Welcome to the Flannel podcast, where we take a deep dive into the music that defined a generation. From the fading echoes of glam metal to the rise of raw and gritty grunge.
Whether you rocked out in high school back then or just curious about this legendary era, join us as we explore the music that made us and maybe still does.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the Flannel podcast with your hosts, Jay and Tom. Here we are.
What's going on? What's
Nothing.
up?
Not a fucking thing. It's been a while since you and I have talked.
Yeah, it's been a whole 20-something hours.
So, this is going to be our very first album review.
Album review episode. It's, I don't know about you, but I like listening to podcasts, and I know numerous podcasts that I listen to do the album review episode. It's always episodes that I look forward to. I like hearing people's thoughts on things, and especially if it's an album I'm into. So we figured, why the hell not? Let's try it. Let's see what we can do with it.
And this is going to be my very first podcast and listening to how it goes and an album review. What's the album?
The 1990 album, Alice in Chains' Facelift album.
And when you mentioned this with a D, when you mentioned this, when you mentioned this album, I was like, fucking why? I honestly thought I really did like this album. I actually don't.
Well,
I
thought about it because for a couple of reasons. One, I think they're a great band. They're a good band.
Well, no doubt. No, Alice in Chains, not no
right.
doubt.
No doubt. And two, I think this album, Nevermind gets the credit, but this album came out in 1990.
Right.
So it was obviously first by a year. There was no grunge, but there was a Seattle sound, and I think it was it had a very big role in starting to get the wheels in motion for that type of stuff to happen. So it's a good album that shouldn't be overlooked.
Right.
Like it or not.
Right. No, and I mean, I remember having this cassette tape, which, wait a minute.
Which I happen to have right here.
Here is the cassette tape that I bought. It's the original. And just plays that back here because we'll open that little boy later. So I remember getting the tape, and it was because of Man in the Box on probably Headbangers Ball. That song was really cool. And then the rest of the album, I just was like, it almost sounds like one huge song to me.
I'm willing to bet that you didn't get the album in 1990.
I don't know exactly when I got it. It was
probably
when the video was out, which, oh my God, I don't know when that video ended up coming out, but it was kind of soon after hearing it a couple of times for Man in the Box.
Yeah. Well, Man in the Box is obviously what made it take off. But again, we'll go back to a previous episode. They have MTV to thank for that, because I don't think the album was getting much traction until that happened.
Right. So early 91, they ended up touring. They went on that the tour with Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. The Clash of the Titans.
That's right.
And obviously, getting exposure there. And they also did openings for Poison, Van Halen, and Extreme.
Right. But you know why I think that is? Because they had a distinct sound, and I don't think people knew where to put them.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like they're not grunge. Because, grunge, it's that sloppiness. But it's like, they even say it's metal, and it's like, it's weird. And then there was something I had read, and it was like, Metallica took Black Sabbath and sped it up.
Oh, it was it. I think it was
And
the
then,
producer that said
yeah,
that.
yeah. And then Jerry
No,
Cantrell took that and slowed it back
and
down.
slowed it back down. Jerry Cantrell is a great guitar player, and not to be underrated. He's really good, great
Oh,
musician.
for sure. Very, very.
They had great harmony vocals. I just think they're a good band. I think it's worth it to sort of have this album, like it or not, as our first album review, and we'll probably sprinkle these episodes in here and there. Well, definitely not all going to be Alice in Chains. Maybe not all going to be grunge, but probably somehow related. But I think this is a great one to start with because, in my opinion, yes, Nirvana opened the floodgates, but this is planting the seed, and Man in the Box is a big this is a big helper to get that going, to get that ball in motion. You know what I mean?
I think I do. There was a couple of things I wanted to hit upon because it was Alice N apostrophe Chains, kind of going off of the Guns N' Roses thing.
I do understand that they had a glam starting.
Well, there was the first demo was done in 88, and
Yeah.
you know, of course, all those bands that were out then. The name, it kind of changed, and ultimately you have your whole Alice in Chains, and that came off as something, or actually, whatever show or tour they were doing, and I think their passes it said like "Welcome to Wonderland." And that's where it stemmed into Alice in Chains, figuring the girl in bondage and stuff. And then, I don't know, one of the band members, Jerry Cantrell, maybe, something like that. Somebody's like mother was not cool with it and didn't care for that.
Really?
But it just kind of kept coming up and it became it. But Lane Staley, I also saw, was he was doing some early audition. He was auditioning for some band called Sleaze, Sleze. Then they did the Alice in Chains thing, but then they kind of disbanded a little bit, and Lane Staley went to go and form some funk band.
Really? Funk?
Yeah. And I think that actually reflects in the song I Know Something.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Cantrell comes in with that, that funky guitar, and I always wondered where did that come from.
I can't think of it right now, but how does that song start off again?
It goes, something
right.
like that. Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, now I got it. Yeah,
you want me to? I turned it up so you can turn it down.
Turn it down.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I actually didn't know any of that. I don't know much about the formation of the band. I know they started as sort of a glam type of thing, and then personally, I remember first seeing the video for "Man in the Box." I'm sure it was Headbangers Ball. Where else would they have played that?
And I'm pretty positive. Yeah, that's exactly where I had seen it.
I think it was out for a while before even MTV started playing it.
It was something like. What was it? Because the album only sold like 40,000 copies in the first 6 months. And then once the video was out, 6 weeks later, it boosts up to like 400,000 copies.
Right. Which is nuts. And that's because of MTV. That wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. That's what the exposure MTV gave everybody.
So Alice in Chains Facelift, it was actually recorded December 89 to April 90. So if you think about it, it's crazy to think about those songs were written. From a technical standpoint, it's an 80s album.
Right. They put out an EP, We Die Young, before that, which was also in 90. I think that was earlier in 90, which was recorded prior. And there's a couple of songs that are on this album that were on the EP, but then there's a handful of others that weren't. The couple, I forgot how many songs were on there. But We Die Young and Oh, man, what was it? Maybe Bleed the Freak was also on it.
Those are both good. Produced by Dave Jordan, who is, you may not recognize his name, but he was the producer of Social Distortion's eponymous record.
Which one? No kidding.
The eponymous one, Social Distortion.
That's what it's called?
Yeah. The record, yeah. By the band. That's what eponymous means.
Okay,
he produced the fucking album.
I thought you were saying that's the title of the Social D album.
The word eponymous means named
Hippo.
after. No, not hippopotamus. Eponymous. Named after itself. Social D, 1990. The album is also called Social Distortion.
Oh my god. Okay.
But it's not their first record.
Man, isn't that the one that has Ball and Chain?
I don't know.
I think so. But we're getting way off. We'll have to mention them. Another
notable record that this guy produced was Sound of White Noise by Anthrax, the first album with their new singer, John Bush. And that was in 93, which I bought the day it came out. And it's a pretty fucking solid record.
Oh, what was that song on it that you and me were messing with?
Right, Only.
That's it. Yeah, that's a badass song.
Anyways, that is produced by this guy also.
Huh.
Yeah.
No idea.
So they chose the first 4 tracks on this record as singles, and, rightfully so. I can't really think of any other songs that could have been singles off of this record.
No, not really.
Man in the Box is the one that broke them. It peaked, the album peaked at number 42 on September 11th of 91. The album went gold. It was certified gold. So that means
10 years before the towers get hit, this album became real badass.
Yeah. At least, I got that loud and clear. At least there was a space there.
I gotta see what's going on. This is bullshit. I'm not yelling this time.
Ah, shit.
And quiet down, because you're now in my recording that I gotta fix. Listen, we're walking around the house like I own fucking horses in here.
Do you?
Apparently.
Actually, I'd have to go back.
What are we... Like, why is this... Can't... Holy fuck me. Oh, shit.
Holy fucking fuck me.
I'm not editing any of this video. I'm just airing the fucking thing. Don't care.
Well, my info was wrong. My notes... So this album peaked at number 42 on the Billboard 200 and was certified gold on September 11th, 1991, meaning that is the first record associated with the grunge movement, if you want to call it grunge, but it's the first record associated with that whole Seattle thing to go gold. Even before Nevermind. Nevermind was certified gold on November 27th, 91. It's the first one. Which is pretty cool. Another notable thing about the recording of this record is that the drummer, Sean Kinney, recorded it with a broken fucking hand.
Yeah, I did find that pretty interesting.
And who was going to fill in for him? Do you know? Do you know who the fuck was?
I forgot who the hell that was.
Well, it was the drummer for Mother Love Bone.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
Was going to fill in it, but obviously they didn't do it.
Right.
So he played it with a broken hand. I don't know how, but he pulled it off.
Yeah, it was something like, because he was thinking, man, if I don't do this, I don't have a gig. And he would do his takes, and He's something about an ice bucket and jam his hand in that.
Right.
And then play again and, but, keep doing it. But, it's stuff like that I really find interesting. And it's like, if he didn't say screw it and do that, would they sound shittier?
No, I think he would have had to. I think he would have had the gig, but I think he probably realized like, hey, you're going to miss out on potentially a piece of history,
right?
So let's just fucking power through it.
This album was the first to reach the top 50 of grunge sales before Nirvana.
What's grunge sales?
When you sell like really dirty stuff in the grunge genre.
Is that right?
Yes. And the Man in the Box with the talk box that was used, and the idea of it coming from Bon Jovi from Living on a Prayer.
Is that right? Is that where he got that idea from?
I don't know if it was the producer or something, or somebody was like driving a car and that hearing that and the idea of using it ended up in there. So there's your 80s stuff going into the 90s.
So after the record blew up because of MTV, they're actually nominated for a Grammy.
Rock performance with vocal or something?
Right, best hard rock metal performance with vocal. I don't know. They don't even have that category anymore. And they lost to Van Halen. Yeah. But a nomination is a nomination, and that's pretty fucking cool.
Right.
I found out an interesting fact, though. Alice in Chains holds the record for the most Grammy nominations without ever winning.
Ozzy actually said that this album is ranked in his top 10 albums.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Of course, Ozzy doesn't know what he's doing half the time anyway, so...
The poor bastard. Leave him alone.
Sharon! Get that Facelift album!
I can't do a Sharon impression. Otherwise, I would.
You just look like this. Tight things.
I don't know what you look like, but it ain't fucking Sharon Osbourne. Kind of look like an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, an actual one.
It's all fucking puckered.
Yeah.
Balloon naughty.
Oh, Jesus.
Unbleached.
Picture it. 1991, the MTV Video Music Awards. Right? Best hard rock video. The nominees are Man in the Box.
Envelope. Yes.
Yeah. Man in the Box. Thunderstruck. She Talks to Angels. These are all great songs, by the way.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck, AC/DC. She Talks to Angels. The Black Crowes. Falling to Pieces. Faith No More. One of my personal favorites.
Oh.
You Could Be Mine. GNR. We talked about that last episode. Great fucking song. Silent Lucidity. Queensryche. Another amazing song. Uncle Tom's Cabin. Warrant. Mm-hmm. On a more serious side. Less Cherry Pie. More Uncle Tom. And Aerosmith's The Other Side. If you can think of how that song goes off the top of your head. Barely.
Take me to the other side. Yeah.
Okay. And the winner is, or was, in 1991?
Aerosmith.
You got it. Aerosmith. Yep. Were they the most deserving? No. Literally any other song on that list was better than that fucking Aerosmith song, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. I don't really personally even care for it myself.
Not only do I not care for that song, as soon as I read the list of the songs that were nominated in that category, I knew every single song. Every song. And I listened to them. The winner, Aerosmith, The Other Side. I had to think, how exactly does that fucking song go? Then I'm like, wait a minute. It's the record that looks like cow hide. I think.
No, it's Pump. It's the one with the little truck on the back of the other one. That's where Love in an Elevator, Janie's Got a Gun, What It Takes.
Oh, yeah?
It's that one, yeah.
Oh, see, there it goes to show you that's the extent of my Aerosmith knowledge from that era. I firmly believe that, quite literally any other song from that list would have been a better choice.
Right, and I'm an Aerosmith fan for sure, but I don't even care for that song.
If I was going to choose based on that choice, best hard rock video. So it's the VMA. So they're choosing based on the video. I don't know. Maybe The Other Side had a really cool
Shit, if I remember, I don't know if it was kind of like shot live or not, but I know they were on a stage. And then you have Man in a Box. His eyes are sewn shut. I mean, fuck no.
Like
But
Jesus.
that song, yeah, well, that's the other thing. So Lane Staley came up with the lyrics, and I don't know, there was something about being at some party and something with vegans or some shit. So the song is about censorship and eating meat, he said, at one point. And then another point was it's about censorship, and I was really high when I wrote it. So
whatever it was, it worked. It's a cool song. It's a better song than the other side. If you're gonna choose video, I think my vote goes to Falling to Pieces. Faith No More. That's a cool fucking video.
Well, yes, it definitely is. That always reminded me of an extension of Epic, in a sense.
It looks like, but they were kind of cool. Do you remember when they performed? It might have even been at that VMAs. I don't remember when they performed, but they performed Epic. Mike Patton started flopping around on the stage. Do you remember?
Oh man, that's a long time ago. Yeah, I'd have to probably find that again to see.
He started flopping around on the stage like the dead fish in the end of the video. You remember people getting all bent out of shape from the dead fish?
Yeah.
It wasn't dead. It wasn't dead yet. Who knows what
obviously.
they did. What did they say? Like, oh, we put him back in the tank or something. I don't know. They're like, don't worry, the fish is fine. They probably ate it.
Or stepped on it.
The fish was falling to pieces.
Fucking kick it or something.
We don't listen. I just want to put it out there. The people
we don't abuse fish.
The people involved with the Flannel Tribe podcast do not abuse, condone, or we just eat fish. We don't kick them.
I haven't kicked a fish in a long time.
Stop kicking fish. This is ridiculous.
Fish kicker.
You fucking fish kicker.
Damn, you going fishing? Going to kick me some fish?
They go on tour. They go on tour. They try to support the fucking record.
Fish. They go on tour with Fish, the band.
Oh God. Let's not. A friend of mine likes Fish, the band. And so I gave him a fair chance a few times, and I'm like, wow, this is really shit.
There's a lot of people not liking this.
Look, I'm sorry. I thought it was
I know.
It's just not my cup of tea.
No.
Whatever.
Right.
Fish. Jesus Christ. Alice in Chains, I'm talking about. They go on tour to support the fucking record. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, open up for Poison because, because I want action and Bleed the Freak. They go hand in hand.
They do.
Extreme VH, yeah, you mentioned that. And then they threw them on Clash of the Titans with Megadeth and Slayer. And from what I understand, it did not go well for Alice in Chains on that tour. They were not real well received. But, I mean, what do you expect? At the end of the day, I think they had the last laugh because although I love the Titans on that tour, Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, love them, Facelift was ultimately certified 3 times platinum by the RIAA, and I'm not sure. Well, maybe Megadeth does. No, Megadeth. Yeah. What's the We should do an album review of that one. Symphony of Destruction. No, what's the name of the record that's on? Countdown to Extinction.
Yeah, and I am honestly never even listened to it. Like I think I know. Is that in the Tout Le Monde?
That's Euthanasia.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's like anything before or after Rust in Peace. No.
So you heard Rust in Peace, and that's basically. You know what? If you're gonna listen to one Megadeth record, listen to that one.
Right. And I know we're veering off, but that Actually, I listened to Holy Wars again. I mean, Holy Wars is a friggin' insane song, and his guitar playing in there is fast as all hell. And I was listening to that again yesterday or the other day, and it was just like, dude, it is crazy. That whole album is real good.
And I think a lot of credit goes to Marty Friedman on that record as well too, because without the combination, I think, of Dave and Marty and Dave on the bass,
Nick Menza,
the late Nick Menza, yeah,
he was drumming then.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was before he died.
Yeah,
that's a great fucking record.
Oh man,
that is peak Megadeth right there, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anyways, I don't think Slayer had a triple platinum record. I don't think Anthrax did, but I know that the Megadeth record, probably Rust in Peace, and certainly Countdown to Extinction, probably is certified 3 times platinum. But Alice in Chains did very well for themselves, as we know, up until the unfortunate end of the lead singer on the record.
And Mike Starr, the bass player.
And Mike Starr, the bass. Oh, you know what? An interesting tidbit. If you look at that, I'm pointing to it like you can see me.
Yeah.
There's
your boy.
There's Mike Starr. That's his face. Naturally. That's what he looks like without the hair. When you pull the hair away from his face. So yeah, that's his face. Yeah. Fucking throw it down.
No, I placed it heavily.
So what do we do now? Do we rank? There's 12 tracks on this album.
That's a lot of songs to go over. I mean,
well, it's not. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think we should do it the way we did our MTV episode. Like we're talking about it for 20 minutes. All the fucking songs.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you start off with what you got?
Well, all right. If it starts out with number 12, my least favorite song on the record.
Hold on. How many nipples you have pierced?
3.
So your least favorite song?
My least favorite song on the record is "I Know Something About You." About. It's not about.
Right.
It's about. I'm sorry, that's just a corny fucking song. It's it starts and it's like, all right, why is this on the record? You could have left it off. I feel like.
I don't know. It's like, well, that's the one that has the funk, and that's probably going back to him and his funk band. But it's like there's this. I don't know. The last half of the album, all the songs again, they just sound like the same song, and I don't know where the separation is.
I don't have this on cassette or CD, so when I listened to this to sort of acquaint myself with this record, it was on Spotify. So there's no like side 1, side 2.
Right.
But I can tell you that there's a clear indication of where the fucking side A, side B for this thing is.
Exactly.
And it went 3 times platinum because of the strong singles, no doubt.
For sure.
So how do you want to do this? You want me to go through my list and then you do your list? Why don't we do that instead of going back and forth?
Right, right.
Number 11. Put You Down.
Put you down, gonna put you down. Yeah, put you down.
Yeah, I guess it's catchy, but it just sounded corny to me. I don't know. Not into it. Wasn't crazy about it. 10. Real Thing. It's Real Thing.
Real Thing.
Album closer. Another, I don't know, it's kind of playful. Doesn't really fit. It's like they're trying to figure out what they want to sound like. I don't know. What's he scream at the end? I know that
Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, right. From
Coming to America.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's band there. Yeah, I don't have to hear that again.
Yeah.
The song called Sunshine. Great guitar sound.
Mm-hmm.
Great harmonies. Not a standout track. When I heard that song, I'm like, yeah, this is the song that's on side 2 in the middle of the record. In the middle of side 2. It can be, forgotten. Next, number 8, Confusion. It's a strong track. Lane Staley's, his voice is unmistakable. You know what he sounds like.
Yeah.
And it showcases that pretty good. It's okay. It's a good song. It's okay. I can't remember. Now, if you want to talk about a song that I can't remember, it's going to be that one. I honestly don't like any of these fucking songs until we get to my number 5. So number 7, I can't remember. And I'll be honest, I can't really remember the song. The song, I know it's dark. It was okay. It captures the sort of essence of the album better than something like I Know Something About You. So that's why it's at number 7. Again, it just seemed like a forgettable song to me. Number 6, It Ain't Like That. It Ain't Like That had a great riff. I like the riff in that song, but I don't like it as much as I like my top 5 songs, so that's why it was there. It would rank higher. I think the music of that song is great, but I just don't think It Ain't Like That is better than my top 5. My top 5, number 5, Love, Hate, Love. Love, Hate, Love is like is sort of like the epic of this record. It's a good centerpiece. It's a great song. It's like haunting. It's slow, but it's like almost like doom, like tortured. It's a great fucking song. It's not a single, and I think that has to do with its length. But I think if you made a radio edit of that song, it would have fared pretty well. You know what I mean? If you dropped it, I forgot what it clocks in at, but it's
like 6:44, I think.
Yeah, too long for radio at that time.
Yeah.
Number 4, Bleed the Freak. Of the singles, that is, it's number 4, but it's still my least favorite of the singles. Good song. Number 3, Man in the Box. What Can Be Said?
Mm-hmm.
Strong song. Broke the Band. I think the other 2 are stronger. Number 2, Sea of Sorrow. We covered that in my band way back in the day. We used to do that song.
Yeah.
That whole You Open Fire and the little boom that happens there, I think is fucking fantastic. It's a great song.
No, for sure.
But not as good as number 1, We Die Young. That opening fucking, the sound of that guitar.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's 1990, it's amazing. It opens up and it basically just rips your face off. I don't know what he used. I don't know what Jerry Cantrell used for his equipment, but I love the sound of that guitar. And anytime you hear it, it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So it's such a strong opener. I mean, that's how you open a record right there. What's fucking weird is that if you take We Die Young and you play it next to I Know Something About You, it's like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? How did it get approved for the record? So the album, strong opening, not so strong finish.
And it's funny because that's really what I feel. So looking at my list, I almost feel...
I'll be honest. When I, we had the idea to rank these songs, I had to go in. I had to re-listen to this shit because some of this stuff, even if I was listening to it back in the day, clearly I stopped after a certain point.
Well, right. And that was the thing. When you said about this one, I was like, fuck me. Because I remember listening to the cassette. So the cassette goes through, We Die and Man in the Box, Sea of Sorrow, Bleed the Freak, and I Can't Remember, and Love, Hate, and that's a side 1. So I would listen to that first side, and it was like it's like the album goes from 1, and then it just starts slowly stepping down to 12. I always felt that way.
Yeah.
But
what's the first song on side 2 after Love, Hate, Love?
It Ain't Like That.
Oh yeah. This is a one-sided record.
I mean, really. And to rank them, I would kind of look at, and I was laughing because of what you were saying, and I actually totally disagree with one thing. Love, Hate, Love fucking drags. To me, I'm like, oh, the song's done. Nope, they start the song almost like again. And I'm going, holy shit. Love, hate, love. Can you wrap it up? Just, yeah, we get it. It seemed too long. It's too slow, too holy shit.
I'll agree. It could have been
So
shortened.
that one, me personally, that would be the bottom of the barrel on that whole album.
Yeah, that's your number 12?
Yeah, that definitely would be for me. That's why when you were saying it, I was like, man, I can't do it. Now for the other songs and
so wait, let me get it straight. Let me get this straight. You think I Know Something About You is better than Love, Hate, Love? Is a better song?
I'm going to say yes, and it would probably be at 11 then, which it is on there because it's that funky thing, and it's like, okay, but it's like, it's all right.
It just doesn't belong on the record.
No, but it's all right. But the thing is, because it seems like almost all those songs have that same groove like Man in a Box, except for We Die Young. We Die Young comes in and almost feels like that's the most fast and aggressive song on it. The rest of them are like slowed down. It Ain't So. The intro in that I thought was really cool.
You mean It Ain't Like That?
Or It Ain't Like That. It Ain't So. Wrong album. Wrong band. It Ain't Like That because it's yeah. And then it comes in.
Right.
That almost has a Man in the Box feel. So it's weird that when I listened to it again, it kind of seemed like they definitely wrote these maybe around the same, not exactly around the same time because a couple were from prior, but it was almost like, well, let's do something again similar to that song. It's almost like they had these couple of songs and they tried to do different versions of it.
They had like a formula that worked.
Yeah. And then, the song Sunshine, I think the groove to the song is kind of cool, but that was also for Cantrell's like mother, and the album is like dedicated in her memory.
Yeah, I get that. I understand his mom passed or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the sentimental reason is one thing. But
right.
For me, as a listener, it means something to him, but it didn't mean anything to me. And I think the whole second side of that record is completely forgettable.
Yeah. Like in that one, I think it's in that song. Then some dude came down to touch the mother. The mother touched the dude ain't here no more. Something like that. It's like these couple little hooky pieces in all those songs on that side. It's like, okay, almost like if you're listening to it, it becomes background. And then, like that kicked in. And it's like, oh, yeah, I like that part. And then it just became whatever again after that. Yeah, the Can't Remember, it would probably have to be up in like the 9-10. Because like listening to that, I'm like, I can't remember why I bought this tape.
Yeah, I know why you bought the tape for Man in the Box.
Yeah. The top four, I'm going to definitely say, first off,
my top four were the singles.
Right. And you had them slightly changed to where Man in the Box is what, third?
I had Man in the Box at number 3.
Yeah. So,
just only because I think Sea of Sorrow and We Die Young are stronger songs than Man in the Box, even though that's the one that broke them. Sometimes the singles, whatever.
And I honestly, I probably would put Man in the Box at 4.
Yeah.
And then do Bleed the Freak and Sea of Sorrow at 2, and then definitely We Die is 1. And when you were talking about that as an intro, it is crazy because when people say about guitars, oh, that guy shreds, that shredding, and I always hated that term. I never really cared for it. Well, with that intro, that saying, that guy shreds, that sound when he comes in, that sound sounds almost like it could cut wood. Like that guitar sounds like it actually would shred like a fucking wood chipper. It just, it's crazy.
I don't know what he used. It's probably something very basic. The Boss Metal Zone pedal. But the album just starts and the sound of that guitar is like,
right.
It just rips your face off. And then that, Lane Staley with his ooh, whatever he does, and Scary's on the wall, and it's just an amazing opener. It's just a really great way to open a record.
It's aggressive. It's quick. It's not long. It doesn't drag out like love, hate, love, hate, love, love, hate, love.
Well, now it's funny you say that because my only problem with We Die Young is that it's too short. It's under 3 minutes.
Yes, and sometimes with short songs, though, in a sense, like I don't care for them. I really like long songs, and we talked about like Estranged and stuff. I like long songs.
As long as they take you on a journey.
Right. But at the same time, a short song that's good from beginning to end, you're going to play it back, start it over, play it back, and play it back to get enough of it.
I think it's a good thing that I say, the only problem with it's too short. It's because by the time it ends, it kind of leaves you wanting more of that. What's the second track on the record?
The Man in the Box
goes right into Man in the Box. Yeah.
The other thing I actually noticed, and it's also like that on Spotify, if I remember it correctly, this album, like space in between tracks, there's not a lot.
No, I know.
So
yeah, it's the same.
It was like, bam, right into the next one, and I noticed that back with the cassette tape.
That's how they recorded. That's how they did it.
Right. So it was like, it's weird because that's not like that on a lot of albums. Or some albums you would hear, it's like, all right, it goes from this song and snaps right into the next one, but all the other tracks don't. Obviously there was a reason because of the continuity of it, but this album does it to where they're very, very short breaks and almost makes it sound like one long song. And I think that's why I start fading out and don't really flip the cassette tape over. And I'm going to tell you right now, as I think of that, I bet you Love, Hate, Love on my cassette tape was about to begin. And I'm like, nope, fucking done. Because that's the last track on that cassette.
That's what I thought too. Given how much tape is left.
Yeah. I'm like, probably that's it.
You should have rewound it. If it was my cassette, it would have been rewound.
Yeah, I think I was listening to it my old pickup truck still had a cassette deck. So I think that's where I was last listening to it.
We both had the same number one. We both had the same top 4. I enjoyed Love, Hate, Love. I like the song. I think it's good. You know why? I think there was a live thing that went along with this record because the record wasn't selling. They did a live, and I think it's called Live Facelift. You could find it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I have never watched it.
I watched it. I watched it last night.
Yeah.
And it's a basic performance. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, there's like 3 live performances and then like 3 videos or 2 videos or something like that?
No,
videos?
It was the whole concert. It was just it was just a concert from the Moore Theater in I don't know,
unless that's something else I'm thinking of, because I thought that was
maybe it was packaged that way back in the day, but I'm telling you
VHS.
Yeah, I'm telling you what I saw on YouTube last night was the full show. And they do Love, Hate, Love live in that performance, and it's really good. It's a good performance. It's really strong. I think it's the versions that you can see there are better than some of what's on the record. They open with Man in the Box, I think, if I remember correctly, which is weird. It sounds good.
Yeah.
The performance itself is
subpar.
Yeah.
Typical.
They're not really
for the
funny,
time.
but it's good. It's worth checking out.
I may.
That's it. We both had the same number one. We Die Young, the strongest track on that record. Top Tommy, why don't you tell the fine folks where they can reach us?
You can call me. I have a cell phone and a beeper.
Fucking beeper.
You can reach us through email at flanneltribepodcast@yahoo.com. All our socials, those socials being Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and the YouTubes.
The YouTubes.
Yes.
And the Facebook.
And the book face. The flat book.
And the motherfucking website.
The website. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. But I gotta remember. I did look at it again. And
you know how long I spent working on that motherfucking thing? Look, I got more to do with that thing, but it is flanneltribepodcast.com.
I think I'm not used to having a website.
Well, we're gonna try to grow this thing here and offer other things.
Oral.
That's up to you there, Thomas.
Little handies.
You almost look like Jack Nicholson.
Wait till they get a load of me. What the hell's that sound?
It's your mom.
Uh-huh.
She's making me a sandwich.
Minga's going to love it.
I'm sorry, Tom's mom.
Today's episode has been brought to you by the letter F, which we didn't come here to hear F, and also by the number 9.
I got nothing about 9. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for checking it out. If you got an album you want us to review, or if you want to chime in with this one, let us know. Go to the damn website. I designed the fucking website. Go to it. flanneltribepodcast.com. Or the next album choice will be Tom's, and he listens to some fucked up shit. You don't want to hear that. You really don't.
There's going to be some stuff that we're going to have to touch upon that it's going to be like, all right, we're going to have to listen to this. We got to, and there's a lot of obscure stuff. 80s hair metal stuff and the 90s grunge stuff. We got to stop saying grunge. It was alternative. That's how it was then.
Hey, you know what the funny thing is when we first talked about that is I did find a news article on, TV. It's on YouTube. Referring to it as the grunge movement, and it was from 1993. 93. Not 91. I remember when it first happened, we were in high school, and it was alternative music. It was never called grunge. But I think this news broadcast was referring to it as the grunge style, meaning the flannels.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. It was more of the style because, it was raggedy. A mess. There's no icy whites.
The long johns under your shorts.
Yep.
Remember that shit? The
Converse, the Doc Martens.
The boots that weren't tied.
Writing on your pants. Finding your dad's flannels.
Right.
Greens and browns and weird shitty earth tones.
That did come back, yeah. Which worked for people in the Northeast like us and the Northwest like them. But what did it look like if you lived in Miami, say, at that time period? Are you wearing flannels? Did they wear flannels?
Well, that's where they get grungy because they were sweating their fucking baguettes off and were dirty. Probably smelled like fucking rug.
Hey, Clark, I'm freezing my baguettes off out here. Anyways, thanks for checking it out. We destroyed this fucking record. We'll destroy another. We're going to destroy one of your favorites soon.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Right. Yep.
Until next time.
Peace out.
Take it sleazy.
Shake it easy.
Later.